Waiters Lisa, time to introduce your chair.
Sure, Honor. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the restaurant Willow's Cap. Soon, the first session will get started. It's exciting, right? Now, Ms.Hinako Ueki will serve you special dish, special speech. But before that, let me tell you why she can be hungry for her speech and what speech means for her. For her, speech is a precious opportunity to share her thoughts and connect with lots of people. She'll be glad if people sympathize with her speech and feel like she's not alone. Even if people don't sympathize with her, she can get different point of views from them. So she thinks that through speech, she can connect with lots of people and get new point of views. That is why she can be hungry. So everyone, let's enjoy her wonderful dish. Be hungry.
Let's welcome today's first chair. The first chair is Ms.Hinako Ueki from Keio University. She will deliver her speech under the title of Be Big on Small Talk. Be Big on Small Talk. Ms. Ueki, please come up to the stage and serve your special dish, Being Hungry.
Thank you, Masters of Ceremonies, Honorable Judges, and Timekeepers. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
The most socially awkward moment in our lives, the elevator moment. You stand there, reach awkwardly past people to push the buttons, and desperately wait for the time to pass. Then the new person comes into the elevator. You might smile a little bit, bow, and again, wait for this awkward silence to end. This is a typical scene in my apartment. So you get the idea. Not necessarily in elevators, but we do meet our neighbors quite often. But here's a question that I want to ask. Do you usually talk to your neighbors? Or do you even know them? Although neighbors obviously live very close, I feel that in terms of emotional distance, we are so distant. I feel a strong need to change this situation. So I stand before all of you here today to let you know the importance of building a close relationship with your neighbors through small talk. I hope this speech will become an opportunity for you to tit-tat your way to better relationship and better community. Before I talk about the neighbors and small talk, I would like to share the current situation that Japan is facing. According to a Japanese journalist, Masashi Kawai, more and more people are living alone. In fact, when it comes to the elderly, the number of people who lived and died alone has been increasing every year. Those who live alone, even the younger generation as well, have a greater chance of becoming isolated. For example, let's say that you fainted at your house. It would be very difficult to get help, right? Like this, people who live alone can easily face life and death dangers. With aging population, the increase of unmarried people and divorce rate, this situation is expected to continue, and there's little that can be done about it. However, these are not the only reasons for isolations. A survey taken by the Cabinet Office shows that 64% of the people who live alone answer that they never or barely have communication with their neighbors. This means they do not have someone to rely on in case of an emergency. The lack of communication and weak relationship with neighbors can also make isolations even more serious. Then what can we do to prevent people from becoming isolated? It is too difficult for us to stop one-person households from growing, right? Well, how about creating a good relationship with neighbors? This can be done. With or without a family to rely on, your neighbors can be the ones who can help you in case of trouble. They can play the role of a family as well. They may not be related by blood, but they're physically close to you, right? We should take more advantage of that and create a good door-to-door relationship. The next question is how? How can we achieve a good relationship with our neighbors? Perhaps something easy, enjoyable, and small, like small talk. This is where small talk comes into play. Takashi Saito, a Japanese specialist in education, explains that small talk, or zatsudan in Japanese, is a friendly, informal conversation about things which are not so important. However, small talk itself is important as an icebreaker. Small talk lets people know that you're interested in them and allows people for a deeper conversation, possibly leading to a better relationship in the future. And I'm telling you, this is not a pipe dream. My grandmother is now living alone. Although she lives completely by herself, she is surrounded by her neighbors. Unfortunately, this summer, she tripped down the stairs and broke her wrist. She hit her wrist so bad that she could not move. Guess what happened? A next-door neighbor who was wondering why my grandmother had not been out to water her plants that day was worried, came over, and found her lying on the ground. She called the ambulance, accompanied her to the hospital, and looked after her until she got better. After hearing this amazing story, I thought to myself, my grandmother was saved thanks to her neighbor. On the other hand, I don't even know who lives in my neighborhood or the person next door. This was when I realized the relationship with my neighbors was way too weak. From that time, I began to have a casual conversation with my neighbors, starting from, "Hi, how are you?" to, "Anything fun lately?" It was amusing to know that most of them were actually very willing to carry on the conversation. You know what? Wait a second, Hinako. I can hear you thinking, I'm not a talkative person. I can't start a small talk. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I get you, but that is not the case. How well you talk and how well you small talk is quite different. People are not craving for humor, inspiration, and life lessons in your small talk. It is okay to be sometimes boring, and it's natural to not have a punchline or conclusion. People just want to share a good atmosphere with you for a certain period of time. Start with a greeting, maybe ask questions, react, and continue, just like you do when talking with your family and friends. Anyone can do this. You just have to start. When opportunities are presented to you, please give it a go. Now, you're in the elevator, or what some people call the most socially awkward moment in their lives. But this time you're different. You know that you can use this silence to make your relationship step up. You know that by starting with a hello can change your neighborhood, your community, and your society for the better. My dear audience, please do not underestimate a small talk as being small. It is more than a big step towards a world without isolation. So, I guess you're ready to be big on small talk. Thank you very much.
Next is the question and answer period. Mr. Pascal, please.
Thank you for your very inspiring speech.
Thank you.
My first question is, do you think that this is a new phenomenon? So do you think in the past people talked more and now they talk less?
I think so. That's maybe this transition is because of like the convenience. The society is getting more and more convenient. There's convenience stores, we have cell phones, so we don't really need to ask for help every time we need help. So I think there's a transition there.
Okay, and then can you give me some more tips for conversation starters beyond hello and anything fun? So.
Okay, I think of small talk as talk that's not too personal but not too business-like. So I think of it as like a greeting plus alpha. Greeting, hello plus talk about the weather. Hello plus talk about the neighborhood. For example, like there's a new restaurant. Have you been there? Or those kind of friendly but not too personal issues. So, yeah.
Okay, and in the case of your grandmother was saved because the neighbor knew her routine. What have you learned about your neighbors yourself that might save them?
Well, my next door neighbor, I live in an apartment. There's 4 people in the family, and there's 2 little boy and a little girl. So, and they quite often to like have fun and play around and run around. And one time I noticed him trip, so I knew his face, so I was able to like say "Are you okay?" to him. So that was one experience. So I know that there's kids, so I can watch out for them when outside. So yeah, that's what I learned.
Okay, do you think then, as part of your solution, that you recommend people should learn the routines of their neighbors?
Not really routines. I don't want people to know and supervise their neighbors, no. But I want them to know like what their faces look like and what kind of, maybe like a little personality, and so not necessarily routines.
Okay, and with communicating with people, sometimes we live in mixed neighborhoods where there are younger and older people. What advice do you give for bridging the sort of age or generation gap?
Generation gap is very difficult problem. But what I learned through my experience is that people are very willing to know about you. People enjoy listening to you because there's a generation. So maybe like elderly people want to know about young people, and young people may want to know about elderly people. So like opening up to like learning and making effort to learn about that person in person is a good tip to me, I think.
Okay, final question.
Yes.
How does your speech show your hungry spirit?
Well, I like conversation. I like talking with people. So from the speech, everyone can know that I'm hungry to talk to people, even in the neighborhood, even the people I don't know. I'm really hungry about meeting people and communicating with people. So yeah, that's my hungry spirit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hinako and Ms. Ueki.